Hello, everyone. My name is Sabrina Protic. I'm with an organization called W.E.E, Women's Entrepreneurial Empowerment, and I'm going to go right into our slides. Our motto is, globally, today's women are entrepreneurs. We are W.E.E, Women's Entrepreneurial Empowerment. My name again is Sabrina Protic. I'm an entrepreneur, and I'm the founder of W.E.E. We represent a diverse group of women entrepreneurs within the community. I would like to say Tampa Bay, but we've expanded beyond Tampa Bay, and we are also in surrounding cities. And I've been recently asked for us to go international. So I'm working with a business strategist on that. So what do? We help women entrepreneurs maintain an endless circle of connectivity, establish exposure, both within the consumer and professional ranks. We work on strategic business information. We provide education and community enrichment. Our organization was formed back in November 2016. We are a for-profit LLC. I started with a group of 7 entrepreneurs that I went around the community and said, hey, would you like to form a women's empowerment organization? And today we have crested 500 members. We have 25 ambassadors. And that what they do is they pay a membership of $120 annually. The organization started 4 years ago. Just last year, I started charging a membership fee. So this was totally funded by me, no donations and contributions. That fee covers marketing, general operations, events, and donations. And I'd like to acknowledge some of our WE members that are here to support, to show you the power of our organization. We've got Dana Washington, Deidre Pittman, Agnes Serrano, and Professor Kishbaugh. And there may be more. I just don't know if they've signed on. So what are some of the things that people look for when we think about a women entrepreneur? Well, we're actually multicultural. In the United States, women start businesses every day. And it could be, we're accustomed to the traditional, administrative office type, corporate type things, but these things can range anywhere from women, baking their specialty cakes and pies, or maybe, fashion. We had a young lady that handmade every swimsuit. They're realtors. They're everything in our community. They represent a vast assortment of businesses. So what do we need from 1 Million Cups? One of the things that we struggle with is meeting space. Since we are not a nonprofit organization, it is difficult for us to find meeting space without having to pay a fee. And most places want, $300 or and I tried it last year. I actually rented meeting space. It was running me about $120 a month. And I just didn't have the membership fees to cover that. And we can talk about that later, but we couldn't do it. We tried it. It was too much money. We also need guest speakers from all aspects of business, all walks of life, work-life balance. We need you to come in. One of my commitments to this organization is that I will bring in a guest speaker every month. And we did that consistently since 2016. So you can imagine that's been a lot of guest speakers. We need the community to come in and help us represent the business community and help educate us as a whole. All walks of business. We also need donated instructional materials. That would be business plans, budgets, anything that you have that you can donate to help us be profitable and successful. We need resources in technology. One of our weak spots is technology, social media, CRMs, the digital space. So if you're an expert and a guru, come speak in front of us and help educate us and help us women entrepreneurs. We also need a line on resources for capital, how to capitalize our businesses, and we need to learn how to become profitable businesses. We need someone to come in and speak on profitability, educate us and provide tools, even workshops. We need workshops. So here are some of the things that we do. This is an example. Every month, as I said, we bring in guest speakers. You can see the diversity here. We were meeting in local restaurants. We outgrew that space. I think there was only enough. This actually only seated 16. And our general capacity has been anywhere from 16 to 20 women attending our monthly meetings. Some of our guest speakers have included people in the community that you may know. This is a circuit judge, Caroline Teshi Arkin, and she gave us a dynamic presentation. She even invited us to come to her chambers. You know, the participation from the community is exposing these women entrepreneurs to things that they would never have been able to see, and to even visualize that one day they may want to be a circuit judge. So, you know, the mentorship is great. We also, just last year, started working on our young minds, planting seeds for the future, our future entrepreneurs. So this is Farrell Girls Middle School, and we held a couple of sessions there where we had entrepreneurs, that's me there, speaking in front of these young girls and shaping their minds, that not only do they have the option to choose a profession, but they also have an option to be an entrepreneur and to expose them even to that idea. And these young girls were absolutely blown away. And I had one come up to me after and said she wanted to be a coach because she enjoyed talking to people, her young peers. They come to her with problems. And so that's a seedling. We had a publisher, one of our women entrepreneurs that's a member of We. She went and spoke there on becoming a publisher, writing your own book. So these are just some of the things that we do. And we got rave reviews on that. So what are some of our results? Well, we had a restaurant back in January donate meeting space for us, and that worked out perfect. And so I took and ran with it. And I said, well, if you're going to let us meet here, we're not going to do it once a month. We're going to do it every Wednesday. And we had something called Shark Tank. And I invited women entrepreneurs, if you have a new business and you need to launch it, come in front of us, just like Shark Tank, and we'll help you. We'll help you figure out what you're lacking, what you need. And here's a comment from one of the ladies that presented. She says, I'm so grateful. What an amazing feeling to be in front of a group of professional women and get support, encouragement, and priceless feedback from my first presentation. This was her very first. She acquired 4 coaching clients that night. That is the support that these women get in our Women's Entrepreneurial Empowerment Organization. We also had a lady within our group. She's online, Deirdre Pittman. She owns a tax business, and this is something she posted on Facebook. I can tell you my experience with We has been awesome. I have new friends, new clients, and some wonderful connections just from being a member of We. So yes, we do help women build their businesses. We also help the community because I feel like a woman entrepreneur, not only is she concerned with herself, but have a voice and a face within the community and help the community. And back in 2016, that was 2018, we did a clothing donation drive for Dress for Success to help women have professional business attire. And we actually collected over 300 pieces of professional business attire, some with name tags still on it. As you can see down in the picture below, was quite successful. That lady there is an attorney standing next to the other lady. We had great support. We actually got news, radio, and television support for that. Last year in 2019, I hosted a women's entrepreneur event, one of the very first ones, I think, in Tampa. We had 18 women entrepreneurs showcase their businesses there, and it was a success. We had over 100 people, men and women, that came out to support this event. And I'm showing you these things to show you the productivity of this women's empowerment organization on very, very, very limited funds. We, back at the end of 2019, we hosted a charity event, and the theme of it was the Roaring 20s. And we had great support. The guy in the center there at the table, he owns a AAA business, and he came out to support us. He was a vendor there. The ladies at the bottom corner, you may recognize Lisa Maria Garcia. She owns a publishing agency here in Tampa, and she came out to support the event as well. And we had just under 100 people there. And through that event, we were able to donate, I'll show you the next screen, $1,000 to Dress for Success. And also we donated $1,000 to the Girls Preparatory School. Now, this was all on our hard work. you know, and efforts in getting out there, like I said, with limitations, but it's a good work, and it's teaching the women entrepreneurs to give back to the community. We have found that there are barriers such as capital, assets, no mentorship pool, which is what we're establishing with WE, limited resources, as I mentioned, with the materials that we need, lack of education and training on being a profitable business, limited skills, lack of experience in the business world, family obligations for women if they have children at home, and sometimes they have to relocate due to their spouse's job. We have seen now, just a report that came out on April 3rd, that there are over 261,000 women unemployed due to the pandemic. Many of these women will look to start their own businesses. We, Women's Entrepreneurial Empowerment, with your help, want to be there to help these women launch their businesses. Again, what do we need from our community? We need meeting space, guest speakers, all men and women. We also host a Facebook Live every Tuesday. I've been doing this consistently now for the past 3 or 4 months. It's been a great success. If you're available to do a Tuesday Facebook Live, educate and inform on that. That's another way that you can help. Donated instructional materials. This could be paperback, hardware, software, anything that we can use to establish budgets and business plans. Resources and technology. Again, resources for capital, and also teaching us how to have profitable businesses. We're a women's entrepreneurial empowerment. I'm the founder. Here's our information. Our email is admin@wewomenentrepreneurs.com, and our website is similar, we-womenentrepreneurs.com. I'm open for questions.
Wow, great job, Sabrina. Yeah, claps all around. There's no doubt that you ladies are working hard to make this happen, and quite impressive at that. So thank you.
Thank you.
You really did a great job of sealing the thunder from 1 Million Cups question of what can we, the community, do for you. But maybe you can just summarize that just so we have your response.
Yes, let me go back to that. Our biggest struggle has been meeting space. As I said, we were meeting at a local restaurant. We outgrew that space. I called around. We can't get into libraries because we're not a nonprofit. There's a lot of meeting spaces out there, but they're for nonprofit. And I have a very low threshold. I started the LLC because I needed these women to be able to write their expenses off. You know, I want to be a professional organization, so I wanted this to be professional. If they're writing me a check, they need to be able to deduct that as their business expenses. And primarily, I started it last year when I started charging a membership fee. And we have 25 ambassadors, so what is that? A little bit over $2,000. And as you can see, our meeting space, we were paying about $1,500 a year. Then the overhead is the hosting, the website, the email, and marketing. I exceeded the $2,500 I get in memberships easily, and it was coming out of my pocket, and still is. And so, you know, when we host the events, I tried to price the events so that the events would pay for themselves, and sometimes they didn't, but we hosted them anyway. And so I'm really at the point now, as I said, I'm at the point, I've been a one-legged operation, and I need another leg. We need some help. We need some assistance. As you can see, we went from 7 members to 500 inside of 4 years. I mean, so we're there. We need support, and we need more education. That's what we really need, is education, tools, and help with technology.
Excellent, excellent. Let's start off with a question from Dom.
Yeah, you have 500 members. Do you charge them at all for being members to this thing and getting all of this knowledge and expertise from these people you bring in?
Don, that's a great question. And again, I'm going to go to you with the whole profitability thing. No, I have 2 segments of my organization. I have my ambassadors, those that choose to have a membership. That's $120 a year. And I have 25 of those ladies that did that. And they that helped some, but it didn't cover all the overhead. The other members, we have a public Facebook page That's where you'll see the 500 members. They get the Tuesday Facebook Live instruction. Now the ambassadors, they get my one-on-one attention. So let's say you want to come in and be a guest speaker, that would go before the ambassadors. And so there is a difference. The ambassadors, they get membership benefits. They get to represent WE and go out and speak on behalf of WE, radio, TV, organizations. That also gives their business visibility. They get to be on the front lines of our events. So I think what you're asking is, I have not been generating any type of support from the 500 members.
I think your 500 members need to support you. If you're giving them all that information, it's a matter of keeping your organization going. And if you don't get a little bit of support from them, then your organization is going to go downhill and go backwards instead of forwards, only because of the finances. Any organization thrives on what they bring in from their members and this type of thing. If you have 500 members, I don't care if you charge them $25 or $50 for the year. To them, it'd be worth it. And that $50 times 500 members means what? $25,000 that you can put into everything and give everybody all the things that they need and do it comfortably.
That's a great point. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. I'm taking notes. So.
Okay, great. Let's jump over to Beth.
Okay. Excellent job. That was one great presentation. I'm very impressed as a committee member and as a professor at HCC who teaches entrepreneurship. I appreciate a really good pitch. So nice work.
Thank
Or presentation. You. We don't call these pitches here, they're presentations. Good
so you
job.
couldn't see my nerves.
Yeah, you did great. You did great.
Thank you.
It doesn't hurt that I'm friends with Greta either. Yes.
Yeah, Greta helped me a little bit. I'm going to give her credit. So
yeah. My comment is it's piggybacking on what Dom just brought up. It all gets down to value, and obviously the ambassadors who do pay are receiving some sort of value for what it is that they are paying. And then those that are part of the Facebook group and deriving value from some of the information that is provided through that content is also following for a reason, and we don't want to lose that. So my immediate thought is, based on what your needs are, is that group of 500 people more than likely has access to meeting space. And so you might be able to think about, how can I leverage that group for, lack of a better word, in-kind types of contributions. So while they may not feel that there's enough value in what they get on a Facebook page to pay for it, you might be able to figure out 12 different people that can donate a conference room if they're working in an office space for meetings. So that was one of my first thoughts. And there's probably some more ideas like that, where things that you feel that you're needing that cost money, but you might be able to get in another way, leverage that group of 500 people in order to do that.
Well, I'll give you an example. I was involved in a hack in Oxford, New England, and they were using a software program called Miro. That's M-I-D-O. And then there's another software program called Airtable. And these software programs are just perfect for anyone building an organization, because it's out there, it's easy to use. Well, I can't say it's easy to use, but it is something that is a very useful tool. And I think the more we start using Airtable and Miro programs, the better groups will come together like WE. Thank you.
Thank you.
Excellent. Thanks, Neil. Who has the next question or comment for Sabrina? Robin, go ahead. You're on mute, just to let you know. There you go.
Hi, Sabrina. I love the presentation. And
Thank you.
also, I wanted to offer some assistance with your instructional material. I have some great resources for capital I would love to talk with you in reference to planting the seed, because also Farrell, the Students for Girls, those are my hearts, and I spend a lot of time with them. But also meeting space. Have you thought about partnering with a nonprofit organization? And I'm saying that because I can assist you with getting meeting space in the libraries. And then also, did you have plans to become a nonprofit?
Actually, I'm glad you asked that question. I actually got my certification from SunBiz. It's called Women Entrepreneurs Emerge.
Mm-hmm.
And I just got my tax ID number about last week. And I went to open up the bank account, and because of the COVID-19, you have to make an appointment. So I've got to make an appointment to get the account open up. But yes, Women Entrepreneurs Emerge. That is a nonprofit. I just got all the fine print done, but we haven't done anything active in the community yet. So I'm totally new with all that. I haven't gotten my tax exempt status yet.
Okay.
That's what I have to work on.
All right. So I'll give you my number.
Okay.
Because with Suncoast, there's a lot of grants that you can apply for like immediately and get back within 60 days that can help with that. And then also Hillsborough County, they have grants that would help you.
Wow.
And I'm talking about with your technical or just establishing the non-for-profit, but then also Suncoast, they have monies for the programs that you're trying to implement.
This is awesome. Great question. I appreciate that so much. And is that your number that was on, because in the chat?
Yes, it is.
Okay, I just caught that, then the chat went away from me, so.
Yeah, so we're still resend it, Robin, because that was in the old room that we lost.
Awesome.
Excellent.
Thank you. Boy, I tell you what, I love this 1 million cups.
It's a great thing.
Finally got it back.
You guys have helped me tremendously.
Let's go to one more before we move on to our second presenter. Who else is up? I will also second the thoughts on having the nonprofit, so I'm glad you are pursuing that because it does open up so many doors. And then if you're able to balance out having both LLC and a nonprofit to your benefit, that's great. There are a couple other organizations, I forget what they're called, Women of 100, etc. But as a nonprofit model, I thought maybe that would be an interesting thing, having 100 friends that meet a month that donate $10, and then that 100 get to vote which emerging entrepreneur gets to have that scholarship or.
That's right.
So just a thought. I see that Dom has his hands up, so let's go to him for the last question.
What you were talking about is SWAT. They generally have each week they have a certain number of dollars. 100 women that actually donate that money, and they whoever is the best speaker or whatever it was of the day, or it is donated to them. But as far as nonprofit goes, be careful. If you want, you lose your business if you're a nonprofit. You're not the owner anymore. You're not the owner. Your board is the owner.
Yes, and I know that. That was one of the reasons why I was on the fence about it, and I actually got that nonprofit. Pardon me?
It's kind of scary.
Well, yes, Don. Thank you, Dominic, because I was really on the fence about it. I was told to be careful with the nonprofit. The board owns it.
The board owns it, but there's a way around that by having your very closest friends on the board, and then having an advisory board that has no voting rights to the board. They advise the board votes on it, and that's what happens. That's a way around that there.
Do you have a nonprofit?
Pardon?
Do you have
a nonprofit? Yeah. I know. I visited somebody down in Manatee County, and he explained that to me. He has 3 people on his board, all close friends, and on his advisory board, he has 10 or 12 people. They advise, the actual board votes on what they advise on, and they can say yes or no or whatever. Smart. So that's a way of getting around that, losing your company.
Smart
in the
move.
nonprofit.
Well, great
Thank you.
feedback,
Thank you.
everybody, and a great presentation. And there's no doubt that what you're doing, Sabrina, is a great thing. So keep it up. Wonderful
Thank
job.
you, guys.
So
Thank
everybody
you.
give a round of applause for Sabrina.
Thank you, 1 million cups. I just had to get it out there one more time. We appreciate it. All the advice. Thank you.
All right.